It's 9 o'clock at night. You go to bed. And before dozing off, you decide to check out social media one last time. Before you realize it's midnight, you spend 3 hours scrolling through Reels, TikTok and Shorts. But how did you lose track of time? And why are these apps so addictive? In the 1950s, B.F. Skinner, an American psychologist, devised an experiment to check what patterns of rewards keep an animal hooked. His apparatus, known as the Skinner box, contains a lever or a key, which subject can manipulate in order to obtain rewards.
The pigeon learned that pecking the disc produced a reward. Then the behavior of pecking could be studied in relation to how often that reward was offered, or in Skinner's terms, what was the schedule of reinforcement.
He found out if the subject receives a reward for each lever pull, then it is not addicted to lever pulling. Furthermore, if the rewards are too infrequent, meaning it takes a large number of lever pulls to get the reward, then also the subject is not addicted. But when there is a randomness between numbers of pulls required, then the subject gets addicted. The subject will try longer and longer before it gives up.
Schedule it so that a reward occurs every now and then when a pigeon does something. We usually use a response with a pigeon pecking a little disc, a little spot on the wall, and you can reinforce with food, but you don't reinforce every time. Perhaps every 10th time, or perhaps only once every minute or something like that. There are a very large number of schedules, and they have their special effects. It's what we call a variable ratio schedule, and that is at the heart of all gambling devices, and has the same effect. A pigeon can become a pathological gambler just as a person can.
His subjects were primarily pigeons and rats. However, there exists evidence that a human child was also subjected to this apparatus.
The child is acquainted with his surroundings and a few lever presses have been reinforced. We can anticipate dramatic changes in the acquisition process. An increasing percentage of time will be devoted to behaviors which quickly produce the snack rewards. And, as a result, consummatory behaviors will also rank high on the list of activities in which the child engages.
This effect is called variable reinforcement and is widely used in social media apps like TikTok, Reels and Shorts. You will never know how many swipes it will take before you find something interesting. In addition to variable reinforcement, another tactic made TikTok a giant with 1 billion monthly users. If you look at the user interface of TikTok, you will notice that it's different from other social media apps. There aren't a lot of buttons. Compare it with Instagram and you will find that there isn't much to choose from. On Instagram, you can click on stories or scroll down to the feed, or you can just go to the Reels tab. TikTok doesn't give this much choice to the user. It just shows the user the first content, and rest is history. This tactic is known as the Hicks law, which states that the more choices users have, the harder it's for them to make one. These two tactics help TikTok rise to the top. Instagram and YouTube soon followed this trend with Reels and Shorts. The UI of TikTok is similar to the slot machine gameplay. The user swipe or pulling the lever acts similar, as it starts an automated cycle where more content is pushed to your screen. There are many dark patterns in user experience designs that makes you do things that you didn't mean to, like buying or signing up for something, or spending more time on these apps than you intended. These could be in form of autoplay loops on YouTube, or infinite scroll on Instagram, which will keep you longer on their platform. Or these could be in form of fake scarcity tactics, where products are always low in stock, or there's always discount deals that will close in a few minutes. But why are these tactics being used? The simple answer is to keep you hooked. To the decision makers behind this, it doesn't matter if it's ethical or not. For most of them, you are just a statistic, and they want you to stay on their platform, no matter whatever it takes. Some of them aren't even aware of how much damage these tactics are doing, and those who are aware only care about the results. So, is there anything you can do? Yes, if you are a designer, then have a say in the design process. Don't just blindly create products using these dark patterns for your clients. Educate yourself on how these techniques exploit human psychology. Educate your clients about these dark patterns, or at least try to be transparent about this. Even if you are not a designer, try to educate yourself about these dark patterns. These techniques are very effective. Even after knowing how these techniques work, I still can't resist the dopamine hit I get whenever my post get likes or whenever I get a subscriber. These dark patterns are here to stay in one form or another. Like any tool, it depends on who is using it and how.